Right, we're here. We're here to play Heart. We're part of the Gauntlet gaming community. We are playing under the Gauntlet community rules. The X card and lines and veils have been discussed and are in effect. We've just spent a very pleasant hour and a half generating our characters, who are just an awful group of people, and at least one sweetheart, one generally downtrodden, and two pretty monstrous people. So I'm quite interested to see where we're going to end up. Anyway, we're playing Heart, the game, the scenario Drowned. Drowned is the quick start for actually Heart, but it is being hacked considerably, so it won't be quite what anyone has been reading in the book. Excellent. Let's start here. You are presently, you know each other. I mean, basically, delvers stick together. This is the thing about the city above. The city above, the enormous spire, is the thing which it's all about class. It's all about station and the war between those groups. Everything changes. If you go, the deeper you go, it becomes about individuals trapped in a hellish situation, and they're trying to help each other. You four have gravitated together, and you're presently being paid, supported. Like we can discuss exactly what they've done, but you are actually sort of supporting and helping this small town. This place is called Devizes. Devizes is well, it used to be an aqueduct. It used to be this enormous aqueduct beneath the city carrying water. Now it doesn't carry anything. It's got about 30 families in here. These buildings are built up the side. Like you can imagine people living in the aqueducts. There's like a series of towers stretching up to one side. You know, lots of gangs and plankways. If you want to imagine your head, imagine like steampunk Ewok village might be the kind of vibe. You know, that's what we're talking about here. And you've been here for some while. It's been like various adventures. You defended it a bit. You have friends here. You have connections here. And as of today, you're having a party here. You know, this is actually a festival season. To be honest, like the way the Heart works is you don't really have seasons down here, but you do have a pulse. We go for this pulse, and when the pulse changes, it's time to get the actual celebrations going on. So the entire thing is being decked out in the brightest colours. There's a kind of like off puce, so has managed a kind of pink, though you're going to have to question what's actually colouring it. The people here are celebrating and drinking heavily, and whatever other assorted chemicals imbuing. Let's say, let's start with Hagfangs. Hagfangs, what are you doing to watch over the people now, or are you actually getting involved in the party? And also, feel free to give a brief introduction of what you look like and what what your thing is.
Oh yeah, so I am I'm about like maybe 5 feet tall, probably a little shorter than most of certainly the elves and drow and stuff walking around. I am gaunt, and I'm basically a humanoid hyena. You know, walking on my hind legs. I have kind of like paws, but like an opposable thumb and stuff like this, and I can carry things and manipulate stuff like regular people do. I have this like this light blue shawl, like a tattered silk shawl. This is the only piece of clothing that I wear, kind of over that I sort of kind of put over my shoulders and, tie loosely in a knot around the front like this. And it's got it's got a rain cloud on it, right? And, and kind of stylized, like maybe little blue beads that are the raindrops coming down. And this is my most precious item I own. I carry it with me all the time. This is what I'm always wearing. And I've probably got like a some kind of a satchel, like a leather bag, like a little medicine bag that I carry my stuff around in. I have kind of like mottled tan fur. My eyes are red. And just kind of like my teeth are kind of like jagged and messed up and going the wrong way and stuff like this and everything. So it's disconcerting to talk to me, because when my muzzle is going, it's just like a mouthful of teeth. and one of the things that I do is I'm a close talker. Like, I get right in on people, and you can, like, smell whatever the last thing I ate was and stuff when I'm talking to you, so, yeah.
No, that's great. Are you getting involved? Are you involved in the party, or are you doing your job?
Oh,
Or is it?
I think I'm involved in the party. This is
That makes sense.
absolutely the kind of thing where, um, I like, I really feel like if there's any kind of, like, whatever the kind of high stakes, like, dice game that we play,
I think
whatever passes for high stakes,
what you're
throwing knuckle bones and stuff.
what you're looking for is the moth game, I reckon.
Yeah.
But there is actually there's a moths connected by a very long thread of silk racing round in circles, and
Oh, that's perfect.
they're on third
Yes.
rack. They're exciting.
Yeah.
Vent, who is the local moth trader, is kind of whispering your ear. Like, if you're you're a face talker, Vent's an ear whisperer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, like, anytime you talk, it's almost like you're about to somehow make out. But like, Vent's a drow. He wears.
And so there's that thing where like I don't turn my head, but my ear kind of does that thing like dogs can, where it kind of turns towards them. Yeah.
Yeah. Vent is the moth trader. So he's trying to sell you a moth, as in, my friend, you would love a moth. Like, you could, you're an adventurer. What becomes an adventurer more than a beautiful moth? He reveals in this little cage. So he's kind of trying to sell you this going on. And we'll pan over here to Casmine. Bethany, would you like to introduce Casmine? And are they going to be doing their job? Or are they going to be partying?
I feel like they're going to be doing their job. Yeah. Casimir is a larger than average drow, I think, or at least like bulkier than average. Probably they're all kind of tall and skinny, with sort of a scarred face. I think he looks a lot older than he is. How old he actually is, who knows? But he looks like someone who's seen some shit. He's wearing this armor that's kind of cobbled together from bits and pieces. It's clearly like powered by something, but it's not clear what. But it's, the joints have these like gears in them, and it makes kind of a whirring noise when he makes a sudden movement. It is, the pieces of it are just the kind of the most like immediately obvious reason you would know this is cobbled together is that some of the pieces are like new and shiny, and you can see where he's just like put the rivet through it, and other pieces are just like corroded and about to, they look like one little blow would crack them because they're just so rusted.
That's great. So much rust. So imagine, like, if you picture, there's a guy called Devlin. Devlin is a human who's like the head of the hounds around here. Devlin's the guy who's been hiring it. Basically, he's the person. Are an organization. The best way to put them is they're sort of like mystical police down here, except they basically all found there was originally 300 people who went down here with these badges, and then these badges are now kind of are sort of like controlling people. So there's always 300 people kind of doing this, and the question of who they are and what they are is kind of open. So they're a little bit creepy, but they're also quite genuinely organized and they're kind of community organized people. I think like he's giving a sort of statement in like try to walk the perimeter. There's a lot of people here, a lot of drunk people. And there's nothing a vampire likes better than drunk people. That's the what they're famous for. It really is. We'll say over. And he started to segue into a long conversation about alcohol mixing and spices and the effects on vampire. He knows his game. I can imagine.
It's the only way vampires can get drunk, and sometimes they like to party. So
yeah, don't we all? As we pan across the room and see Sabine, can you introduce what Arcos looks like and what's Arcos doing? Is Arcos working? Is Arcos partying, or finding a way to do both?
I just wanted to give a quick shout. I had a thought because I wanted to change the way I recognize that the heart is near. I want to change that to the smell of petrichor, because that wouldn't you wouldn't usually smell that down here, but it's still, when you smell it, you know you're getting closer to something.
Cool.
And right now,
what smell did you say? I missed the word. Sorry.
petrichor.
Petrichor, cool.
That's the smell that rain makes. And yeah, well, Arcos is human, probably. You don't see much of them. They wear this oversized coat and this hat, so you don't usually see their face. They are wearing a cloth mask or something like that. And they are doing a little of both, I guess, working and partying. They are right now, they're standing somewhere trying to get up some kind of stands or something, helping people to repair stuff. They're actually pretty good at repairing stuff. You might think that their hands, they have pretty large hands, but you might think they are encased in gloves, but they aren't really. That's just the tattoos of spider silk. They're so dense on their hands that it looks like gloves. But sometimes a bit of the spider silk comes loose and wafts in the air and tries to repair stuff and things like that.
Cool. What's Arcos is voice then? If they're doing a little bit of partying, what's the voice?
I think of Arcos' voice, usually they talk quite low and a bit slowly because they are from the east and this isn't their, whatever people speaking here isn't their native language, and wrapping their tongue around these elven speech is not that easy. So they're trying to find the right word, but sometimes it doesn't exist, or they have to look it up or stuff like that.
Cool. So I meant to say vice, as in drugs, alcohol, what they into.
Oh, vice. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, my enunciation is awful. I apologize.
So it's fine. I'm not that. Maybe I'm failing at English today. Vice. I think their vice usually involves the stranger stuff and using it strangely. Like when you get alcohol, they might try to just smell it or rub it into their spider silk tattoos or stuff like that. They like to experiment.
Yeah, there's so you're sort of saying, like, some of your friends, you've got this applying surface gel alcohol to your hands, and this kind of just sitting there, like soaking in, not in the sun, but like there's some moon cultists. Like the moon beneath is one of the drow religions, and it's the only one down. Not true. It's the main drow religion down here because it's exiled from upstairs, and they're sort of talking about the better. They're talking. Actually, not talking. They're singing a hymn, but it's a kind of drow hymns. Are kind of like quite exciting, I guess. As in, they're kind of like I picture the kind of sort of almost like screaming and then whispering and then screaming and whispering, and it's got that kind of rhythm to it. It's almost like grunge records, I guess. That might be a good way of putting it. And they're talking about the great wonder of and feeling the moon shining on their fingers as they apply this moonshine on themselves. That's a lovely time. So I'm actually like, so I would say. So you're quite near Hagfangs, actually, because if you want to picture that, you're all on the kind of remains of the aqueduct, except for Casimir, who's like kind of walking the X. But there's all steps everywhere. Finally, let's move to Darren. Tell me about Drent. What's Drent up to?
Well, Drent, let's talk fashion. Drent has his like long elven ears are like pierced with a bunch of piercings, all up and down them. It's like a hodgepodge of religious symbols. And I think that's sort of like his look, hodgepodgery. He's got like a pretty like good loose fitting outfit on, and necklaces, bangles, anything that could have possibly be indicative of any sort of religion to anything, he's got it. But I think that Drent is working, is not partying. Maybe nearby Casimir, maybe if we're patrolling together. I imagine I'm just like shuffling those like Malric fortune cards just to be irritating.
That's nice. I said you walk in the perimeter and it's people are coming because it's, like I said, there's about 30 families in this area, but like people have sort of this high up in the heart. It's not that bad. I mean, like, to be honest, like anyone who's lived on the surface knows it's hell. But like compared with like what as people who've delved, exists like further down from here. This is relatively normal. Yes, occasionally reality collapses and occasionally the walls bleed, but there are worse places to live. So people have come in from outside. So like pilgrims are coming in and occasionally checked. And Sabine, Arcos is the first person to sort of probably realise this as you're kind of sitting there with covered in the gel. You kind of smell something, and it smells like rain.
Oh, wow. You can't see it, but they start smiling. Maybe you see them, the eyes are crinkling, and they stand up and just prepare themselves. Maybe go and find Casimir, because I mean, come on, maybe we can find a train or something.
Yeah, you go. You gather, and it's like the heart. It's the feeling of the heart. So you move it around, and eventually you're sort of gathered around as there's somebody standing in the middle of the party, and it's noticeable they're just sort of standing there, and they're not moving at all, and they're sort of just rocking back and forth. Does anyone to approach, or they just sort of sat observe?
I'll mirror the rhythm.
Inching close, and as you inch close, suddenly they turn to you, and they're very pale. And of course, to be honest, pale is a pretty common look down here. And their eyes are sightless, as in, or rather, their eyes are kind of burnt out, as in if they just can't see anymore. And they open their mouth as if to speak, and then fire starts dripping out of their mouth and down their body. Their clothes start igniting. They're not burning, though it's noticeable they are screaming. And this fire is starting to spread down their body and out towards them.
Do they look like they're doing that on purpose, or is this something we might try to stop here?
It's hard to say. I would say they look compelled. There's a feeling like I would say Drent's with you. Drent would definitely recognise this as kind of religious ecstasy, is the way we describe it.
Oh,
the fire is starting to spread out and starts moving across like water. This is kind of like Sabine, Arcos' senses are going wild at this point in terms of the rainwater with the fire. And this is pure heart stuff happening here. Jim, Hackfangs can definitely see this now, and Casimir is also like there watching this person start to leak fire everywhere. People have started to notice too.
Yeah, so just so I understand what's going on, this is all happening like at the top of this like abandoned aqueduct, right? Where
it's like imagine like the abandoned aqueduct as the infrastructure for this entire settlement. So there is wooden ramps running between stuff, and there's exits to like other areas, as in this is a home, but you've got to travel quite a way to get somewhere else.
Sure.
But so I said the Ewok village model is what I was thinking about. So the bridge is, the aqueduct's there, and there's a lot of stuff built around it. You actually live near the top, and there's little shops hanging off the sign like swallows' nests. That's the kind of vibe. Of course, as I mentioned, there's a mixture of stone and wood here, but the wood is definitely starting to burn.
Got it. So and you know what? I'm with this moth vendor, so almost certainly the moths have all gone like, they're like on their tethers, like trying to fly towards the fire. And I say, wait here. And, when I run, it's kind of like 3-4 steps on my back legs. And then maybe I go down like, with one hop on my front and then up and I'm running again. I go like boom, 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 and then back up. And I just charge right at him. And, if I can, I just want to lash out and give him a hard kick off of wherever, like off this platform that he's on, and try and knock him down off of it so that it's not on fire anymore. At least we can put the fire out.
I definitely see this moment of like everything pauses, and then the knoll comes rushing in at the side. Okay, this is a good time to actually introduce the rules for everybody. Basically, the way Heart works is we build the dock. First, we discuss what could possibly go wrong here. Like it's like he's on, and off the top of my head, he's on fire. That could hurt you.
Yeah.
You could go off with him. you might burn some of your stuff.
You could push him into somebody else who stands around there.
Yeah, you might like, and it might be emotionally upsetting in terms of like, it might be mind damage. So like, if it actually ends up killing someone else, like instead or whatever. But that's sort of what's at risk. I would say this is kind of standard difficulty. What we do is assemble a dice pool. So we start with 1d10. Get that for free. If you have a relevant skill, you add another d10. In this case, I reckon what's the relevant skills we would have? I would say kill or hunch is probably the one to go for.
Okay.
But like,
so then in that case, I'm gonna adopt my true form as I charge at him.
What does that do?
So I'm just gonna read it. Your skin skitters with barely contained force. The heart's blood within you is waiting to remake you as a flickering, hungry zoetrope horror. When you want to, or when you suffer major fallout, you enter your true form. Describe it. When in your true form, you roll with mastery on hunt and kill checks, but all other checks become risky.
Ooh. Well,
so, yeah.
Now people are panicking for 2 reasons.
Yeah.
There is a fire and there's a zootropic monster rushing at it. Is there any stress cost for that? Has it just happened?
There is not. It just
I love
happens.
it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I think like kind of this thing, the way that this works is like I said, I kind of do that loping and I go down one time. And as I'm coming up, as you're looking at me, it's suddenly like I'm stop motion, kind of like like that. And then like I'm getting bigger and weirder and like my limbs are jagged and stuff like this as I charge at it. And I look like a Ray Harryhausen monster as I am attacking him is what's going on with that. Yeah.
It's worth noting, like, as in you don't actually gain the hunt and kill skills, but you do get mastery on them, which means which we'll get to in a second. Yeah. I would say this is a cult. I was going to say this is a cult or religion, which is a domain. So you don't have an applicable skill, you have an applicable domain, and you have mastery. So you actually roll 3 dice. This isn't. I would say this is a standard sort of thing. So you don't remove any of them. If it was risky, you would remove the highest dice, and if it was like doubly risky, there's a name for that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You remove 2 dice.
All right.
And roll them.
So I'm going to roll 3d10 is what I'm rolling.
Yes, and keep the tell me the highest.
Nope. Sorry, I rolled the wrong dice. That's me. I forget which is left and right in roll for your party here. So 3d10. My highest is a 10.
Nice. That is what we call in the business a critical success. You succeed dramatically, and you increase the outgoing stress dice by 1. Now, what's your weapon, by the way? Do you have a? Sorry.
No, I am kicking him.
Great. Well,
I'm attempting to kick him off of a tall structure because he really deserves it because he's on fire.
This seems perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
Right. Your standard kick damage is 1d4.
Okay.
The fact you actually did a critical means it goes up to 1d6, which is excellent. So just roll that and tell me what it is.
Yeah, I don't even particularly care if I hurt him. I just want to knock him off of this thing. So.
Oh yeah. But the way about the game is the resistance. Enemies have a resistance which is generalized, so it's not really hit points.
Sure. Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
It's like you could actually charm them to death in that way. So it's that kind of like it's what takes them out of action.
That's a d6. Sorry, a 6 on my d6.
Brilliant. You kick him really hard. I would say I want you to describe like you are quite high on the aqueduct. So like with halfway up the structure kind of way, he's quite high up. What happens when you kick him soaring through the air?
I think like I come in and my, like my kind of, like I said, sort of herky jerky motion, like a leg lashes out, like it's got too many joints as it like slams into him. And he just kind of like, and I think he like flies through the air, maybe like one heel like hits on the edge before he just falls down. And as he's falling, I think he doesn't scream or anything, because if there's this religious ecstasy thing, like I think maybe he thinks he's flying until he impacts whatever it is that he impacts, like Johnny Storm, fire trail following after him as he falls. Yeah,
he bounces off a couple of things and bursts into fire at the bottom. But at least it's kind of safe down there. there's not really a problem. Like everyone has a moment to look at each other. Bethany, how's Casimir feeling about this incredible act of wholesome violence?
Good job.
You have a moment to actually to take in the party. It's like you don't slap the shoulder, I imagine, because the shoulder is mutating into a zoetrope. But there's a moment, you look around and you see there's 3 more of these people. Like, oh no, there's a 4th one, and there's a 5th one, and they're all singing this. Oh no, there's a 6th. Now you actually come to mention it, and they're spread out among the crowd and all the different buildings, and fire is pouring out of all their mouths, licking into the building. The whole place is going up. But you've definitely killing this one definitely slowed down the fire in this area, and people are running. There's a kind of moment of like, oh, you're not quite sure you can even save these people. As in, no other. It's a question of like rescuing people now versus can you put it out in time? That's really hard to say.
Right.
Oh, here's something weird about the fire. The fire is burning stuff, but it's also it's burning people, but it's not actually burning the structure. It's kind of just it's happily covering it. Think of it more like tar. And then as it gets thicker and thicker, it grows higher and higher, as if this whole place is just going to end up being like a blast furnace, I guess would be the easy, but even more of that. Hellish might be a good way of putting it. It's almost the opposite of what Darren's Drent is looking for.
Yeah, well, Hagfang set an example here.
Hagfang, turn that off. Turn that off. It's too weird.
And I just turn to you and I say, can't till this is over. Finish it.
Right. I would say, has anyone got a plan to deal with this situation or trying to save people? There's a mixture of people have hazard words. I would say the general mood is panic.
The people are burning. They're not just covered in the stuff. They are actually hurting, right?
Yeah, the people who are doing it are, but then you haven't seen it. You haven't seen the fire go on anyone actually from here yet. So you're
then I go and test that.
Wow.
I mean, it just burn. Yeah, come on, I can mend myself again. So I don't. I want to see if that actually burns people to death or anything, or if it's just like kind of a visual effect.
I was about to say this is a fantastic moment. I reckon this sounds like a risk. I think we could probably guess what the risk is here.
Getting burned?
Yes. What I would say it's definitely an endure roll. I would say it's an endure occult roll again.
Okay, I have occult but not endure. I would have liked to use discern, but I can use endure.
The reason I was endure is that if you actually it's like I'm sorry. The way you described it was like I thought you were touching the fire. Just if you actually want to step back and do some experiments in a much more quieter way, you can certainly do that with discern.
No, I will do it with endure. That's fine. I think that's the kind of guy this is.
That sounds good.
Person. Okay, so I've got 2 dice, right? And I'm doing risky. That means the highest die won't count.
No, it's not risky. As in, I think it's a standard. It's a standard danger here.
Oh, okay, cool. So I've got 2 dice.
Yeah.
And I roll them, and somehow I roll 2d6, of course, because I play too much PBTA games, I think.
Yeah. It almost seems reverse rolling d10s. The strange blasphemy of the heart.
Yeah. That would be awesome, but no. Come on. Yeah, I've got a 6 and a 7, so.
Sweet. What this does is 6 and a 7 is basically successes at cost. You succeed, but you take stress. As in,
fine.
I'm going to say this is only it's only a bare touch. Roll 1d4 and you take that much stress to your blood because I think it's a physical pain. You immediately you go in and oh no, this is real fire. It burns people.
Okay.
And it's not quite.
Okay.
It's also the other thing you get from it is it's definitely mystical fire. This kind of this is kind of I mean, you haven't seen anything like this, I imagine, but it's definitely kind of like, oh right, this is some deep heart stuff, and these people are emissaries you imagine from some godly power. I say I say pointing towards one of your character notes.
I wonder if I can do anything about godly powers, but right now I can do mind stress. I can sacrifice things. I have echo protection. That's not very helpful.
No. Sorry, I was mentioning just in terms of something you may want to do. It's the meet and learn from emissary of the heart. So, like, I would say these people, whoever they are, count as emissaries from the heart.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Cool.
So if you want
I
to
mean,
set up a
that's
thing like that
really-
later.
Wow, that's very cool.
But you do take roll 1d4 for your
Yeah,
stress total. What do you get?
I get 3.
3. So just add that to your stress. You've got no armor. Now I roll a d12, which I'm going to roll here. Basically, the way this works is stress is just entirely abstract until it becomes fallout. That happens when I roll the number or beneath.
Mm-hmm.
If I roll your stress or less, it turns into fallout. Fallout is when actually something happens that's bad to you. So stress accumulates, and then fallout, if it happens, resets. The higher your stress is, the worse the fallout.
Okay, I get
and
it.
I rolled a 4, which is higher than your stress, so it doesn't happen yet. You get in, it hurts you. It hurts your hand, and you're aware this stuff burns. As in, oh yeah, this place is going to go up, and you get the idea that this is going to be whatever wants it to burn, this is magical fire, but it definitely is fire that wants to burn people.
Okay. Now I know that's good information. I will tell everyone, yeah, this fire actually burns people. Get out of here. Maybe. If you don't want to burn, which is your choice, obviously. I don't. And I will move away from the fire. And towards...
Like a great idea, Arcos, but how are we going to get the people out of here? As I'm sure more of these fires are like popping up around us.
I mean, I could get all of us out of here. Just like, seems like I have to do this, right? I mean, I could open a portal to some other place and get everyone through that. That's probably totally safe.
Yeah, and definitely that's a good plan, because Sediment can open a portal to like an Elder God place. On the other hand, I think definitely the hard part here is getting everybody through that portal. As in, they're all, that's kind of like, but that's a really good escape plan.
Yeah, then I'm going to do that. I guess I roll with discern and religion, or occult. Well, no religion, but I have both of them. I roll 3 dice, right?
Yes.
Cool. I'll delete those and roll 3 new ones. Okay, I've got a 10.
Sorry, I said fuck yeah. I just love that. Okay, tell me what happens tell me what the ritual looks like, because this has got the amazing name. Definitely say the name at the start, because that's such a cool thing.
Sanctum of the Stone Chorus. Yeah, so what happens here is that I find some appropriate stone, because I need some it's easier if I have an appropriate stone, right? And I go up there to that stone. It probably is the side of a wall or something of a building. And I will then tap on it and then nod and say, yeah, folks, let's go through here, right? And I shouldn't have snapped, not hurt my fingers. Let's go through here. You can go through. Yes, you can go through here. Just move it now.
Basically, the hole in the stone has got this.
No, there's no hole. You just push them through.
Oh, right, yeah. It's got this how to phrase this? It's this rumbling, screaming behind it of elder gods trapped. But I was about to say, who wants to try to persuade some people that it's a good idea? I about to say, Casimine, Casimine Drent.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to clear the way and make sure that everybody can get past these burning people safely while, yelling, follow me. I don't know if they'll be terribly convinced by running toward a stone wall, but hey.
I was say you're pretty imposing, and you protected these people. So that's a fair chance. I mean, Drent, is Drent going to do something to support that? Because it's like there's sort of 2 things that Casmin's up to. I imagine Hagfangs wants to help as well. Yeah, just clear the path, which means, because let's be honest, these guys are kind of blocking the path as well, just because they're on fire. So those 2 things kind of work together. So there's one part is making. As far as I can say, there's one part which is making it safe to get to the area, and the other part is making the people go there. So,
in terms of of the four of us, the one that people are going to run away from, I feel like that's me. So like I want to terrify them. I want them terrified enough that they will willingly run into a brick wall to get away from me.
That's fantastic.
What looks like a brick wall. Yeah.
I'll try to take out some burning fools.
Yeah, same.
Right. So so Hagfangs is on the Cyclops, whilst Drent and Casimir are off. There's one who is actually I would say there's definitely like it's the main path, and there's like two there holding hands, and they're kind of like serenading each other with this, and occasionally they're almost like it just comes out of them in waves, this fire, and it's spurting everywhere, and it's pretty disturbing. And so you're going to go for them then, right? Do you want to just what are you armed with? Are you going to like do any? Are you going to go with your weapons? Are you going to shoot it? Or is there any? Tell me what it looks like.
Casimir, if we're both attacking, do you want to do like I can help you or vice versa or whatever?
Yeah, I was wondering who's on.
I'll follow your lead. Probably you're the knight.
I would like. So okay. So they seem to be more powerful than anybody else. Like because the two people who are connected here. I would like to. I have the sword, and I would like to cut off one of their arms, so they're no longer connected.
That seems legit rude. Your right, just seeing what your sword is. Fantastic, scrap sword. Okay, right, you move in together. Like, Darren, do you want to describe how Drent kind of flanked Casimir?
Yeah, I've got my little ritual blade, which who knows, probably a short sword with like scriptures carved into it from like a multitude of religions that have nothing to do with each other. Probably like, maybe I'll go for, if Casimir is going for like the arm, I'll go for like the leg.
That's good.
So I'll be like down low, kind of.
That's it. You're moving expertly, right? Casimir, I would say this sounds like a kill to me. And it would sound like I said it's still a cult because these are kind of very clearly occult baddies. So you have 2 dice because Darren is assisting, basically.
Okay.
Cool.
Eight and 9.
Wow. We're using all the good dice up this early. That's fantastic. That's success. Like, you're in there. Do you want to roll the damage? Sorry, roll a d6 for your stress inflicted.
Oh. Yeah. I keep putting them in the wrong boxes too. 1.
That's enough of a hit there, but it's kind of one of these kind of it hurts, and then these kind of people are kind of like they are moving away now because it's kind of like they're clearly feeling the pain of this being on fire, but it's kind of like they're kind of into the pain of being on fire. They're not into the pain of the cut in the arm, so they're kind of backed away a bit there, and you've got a kind of secondary problem now. You've got, before Hagfangs can do the guiding thing, is that this area is covered in fire. And there's people on the other side of the fire, so you need to like work out a way to clear that path through some of the fire or something. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Right. Has Darren or Hagfangs or even or Casimir got an idea? I imagine Arcos is still doing the ritual, but like they might be able to come back in a second.
I could do this will take a while, but I could. Well, let me do it in character. I forgot character names. Casimir. I don't know how we're gonna get past this fire. I could take him through the gray, but that takes a while. And the gray is like purgatory.
That might take a while, but it's like can you do it in a short way? It's like
maybe I'm fine with it being like a dangerous role.
It's like, okay, like there's definitely it's like you can start trying to prep that. If you actually look around in terms of other stuff, it's like, it's a wooden pathway like that, and there's other stuff around, so it's possible you could get something to knock onto it, or find something, or use a cupboard, or like. So
Something
there
more
are,
practical.
you can be more practical here. Is what I mean, is go straight to the walking through the grey I'm into, but at the same time, if I actually visualize the scene, there's other stuff happening here.
Sure. That makes sense. Yeah, maybe let me just identify something. If we're on this wooden pathway.
Actually, can I phrase it another way? When you look around, Drent, what do you see that you think would make a cool bridge?
Oh. Maybe we're at a festival. Oh man. Maybe there's like fire just seems so impossible. Maybe there's like
So
like metal awnings, like an aluminum awning or something like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
That I could tear down.
That's cool. Yeah. That's great. You see it like it's one of these walkways which is hanging above the fire, and it's like, how did you miss that until now? And you look up. Okay, Casmin, Drent, even Hagfangs, you can see the problem. As in people are yapping at you still, but they're kind of, not crossing the fire because it's fire. But they're not. You've actually successfully herded them though, which is the kind of the impressive thing.
Yeah, right up to the fire.
And we need to take this bridge down.
That'd be a good solution.
Drop there, sure. So, I mean, I think this is the reason we missed it is because this particular walkway is not like on stilts. It's supported by ropes, right? From up above. So, Hagfangs sees Drent points up at it and says, "We need to get that down somehow." And Hagfangs, kind of spins around from that, the cowering family that she was approaching, and kind of like reaches out behind her back, and pulls out something that at first looks like it's a femur off of some animal, but then when it comes all the way out, you realize it is like it's been bored down the middle, and it's actually like a musket.
Ooh, nice.
Like a carbine. And brings it up to one eye, and I'm going to see if I can shoot those ropes out to drop that bridge down.
That's a good idea. Everything is a risky roll because it's not a hunt or a kill, I guess.
Sure.
That's right. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? As I say, roll with 2 dice though, because it is a cult still.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what skill is it if it's not?
It's tricky.
It's not hunt.
I mean,
I'm shooting at I'm trying to shoot a target from range.
Hunting is normally meant to, normally, I'm supposed to make a call here. Hunt's normally definitely finding people down. Kill includes shooting, as in kills are generalized.
Okay.
Awful. Actually, and you've got in kill as well, so yes.
I don't have kill as a skill, but I have mastery in it right now.
Cool. You on 3 dice then?
Cool. Excellent. All right.
Okay, what could go wrong here though?
Oh, what can go wrong? Well, there's a couple of things that go wrong. One thing that can go wrong is that the boring thing that can go wrong is that I just miss. But the couple of cool things that can go wrong is I miscalculate how it falls, and it actually drops on me or the other people, or the wind of it dropping actually fans the flames and shoots them in a direction we weren't expecting, something like that.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
All those sort of things.
All kinds of stuff that can go wrong here.
Sweet. Give me the roll and remove the high. No, don't remove the highest. Just roll the 3 and tell me the best.
You bet. I rolled 2 10s, so even if I removed the highest.
Wow, it's like there is someone looking after you, and this is pretty awesome. I say, looks good to me. Literally, it drops. Do you want to describe how it drops down and specific? Actually, describe how it drops down and describe how it looks like a religious thing that people have to run across the bridge.
Oh, I mean, I think it's super. Hagfangs points up and pulls the trigger, and it manages to do that thing where it goes through one rope at the bottom and then across and hits the other higher up, and it kind of falls at an angle for a moment and then falls bam, but it's crossways across the bridge. So when you look at it from above, there's like the aqueduct, and then this bridge is lying across it, like the crossbar of a cross. And, and it has like the flames are kind of to the side, but there's enough of it that people can kind of, run over it to get through the flames.
That's great. Anyway, it happened. I was like, now give me another quick roll, just because it's compel, as it's time to actually get them to do it. But you roll with mastery. Whilst it's risky, you roll with mastery. As in, I'm giving you mastery due to the follow-on from the previous roll. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. So normally, when I'm in my horror form, anything I do that's not hunter kill would be rolled with would be risky. So it sounds like, do those cancel out and it's just regular?
No, risky as you actually get an extra, like in the situation, you get your compel dice because you've got a compel skill.
Oh, but then we remove the highest, right?
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
cool. Excellent.
So you actually get compel and mastery. You don't get, this is, I would say, a haven, because these are people, and so they're like people who live in a haven. So like you roll 3 dice again and remove the highest.
Cool, got it. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm gonna adjust. I like just rolling fresh each time. It seems to work better on roll for your party here. So let's see. So this 7, 10, 10.
Wow.
What can I say? And I'm actually deleting the dice and re-rolling them. So I think I'm gonna have to like send Shane a coffee or something like that.
I was about to say, like, this is good. You're being looked after. Okay, describe what it looks like for like a lot of people to be running across the bridge, being chased by a shape-changing gnoll.
Yeah, so I take that shot and the gun kind of goes back, slung across my back, and then I just kind of like take a couple of steps towards them, and like do one of these like howls, this kind of like loud shrieking howl that like Dopplers in a weird way, because I've got the like zoetrope form going on. I just kind of take a couple of steps towards them, and I say, "Run!" and they do, stumbling and screaming and like fleeing in terror.
Yeah, one of them runs past and grabs Casmin by the metallic lapels and says, "Kill that monster! Kill it! It's behind us! Run!"
That monster's saving your life. Run!
They look very confused by all of this. As I say, Sabine, like they're starting to rush past you for the door. Do you want to tell me what the realm of awesome stone metal looks like for the people?
Yeah, when they go through, it's kind of a large hall made of stone, obviously. This is a stone god. I mean, I like stones. And there's a kind of echo with every movement, even if it's just the slightest, there is an echo. And that makes, the more people get in there, and then when they talk, it's pretty much a cacophony. You can't hear your own words for all the echoes, so they better learn how to be quiet and move quietly. This is otherwise this, and if it gets too noisy, then stones will start dropping from the ceiling.
Yeah, everyone's petrified, and everyone who's getting in there is petrified and shaking. I was about to say, it's actually going relatively well, considering there's a lot of people on fire. You notice a few things actually going on. I think like you're probably about thinking, shall we retreat or shall we not? And you realize there's still some people out here. Like Jim, Hagfangs definitely notices that you see the moth guy you were talking to earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Vent is definitely running back towards his place. At the same time, you sort of see Devlin, the person who was walking with you, Casman and Drent. Devlin, who is of course, he's been dealing with the other side. He saw what your plan is because he knows you, and he was luring people back. But he's being overwhelmed by people now. Like those people have actually got out long knives and are slowly starting to sacrifice him, and fire bursting from his skin in that awful way. And then, so he's in deal trouble. Oh, and worst of all, Casman, because it's important for your self-interest, you remember what do you remember that you've left in your office if it will get destroyed, will reveal like there's part of your dark secret that if that gets whatever's in there, if it gets destroyed, it will reveal something, and everyone will think much less of you.
Yeah. It is the contract I have to like go on this this hopeless mission in the first place with the Vermissions, and it explicitly mentions as payment for a successful mission my soul.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So if it gets destroyed, does that contract void then? And then we'll
I mean, technically no, but this is my proof of it. And also, if anyone sees it, like I haven't told anybody they have my soul.
Yeah, the reason I'm setting this up is basically if it gets burnt away, I'm trying to set up your do something dangerous to conceal your past if you want to try to get that. So it's that kind of like, well, you know, that's up there, so you'd have to go back to your own place to get something if you want to like do that, but it's a big risk. Anyway, everyone's outside like Arcos' awesome like hole through time and space, and you have a moment to look at each other and you sort of realize what's happening. What are you going to do? You can just step through and escape and be out there now.
But the other guys from my team or whatever, they're still here, right?
Yeah. All of you are kind of like being befriended. Well, actually, in a weirdly, but you're kind of outside, so you're not quite the rear guard might be the right word, but there's also still people around, so you haven't saved everybody, and there's there's still people going through. Right.
Then I'll stay because I'm afraid if I go through, then it might close, and then nobody. They will be fine in there. I mean, I hope they don't anger the old god that holds sway over this realm, but I can't do everything, right? I'll stay here. I'll unpack my blunderbuss and just aim it at whoever annoys me.
Cool. Other stuff going on. As I said, the moth guy's gone and tried to get some stuff from his moth house, presumably. Casman has the option to do what if Casman wants to do something, and of course Devlin's in a bad shape if anyone wants to try a rescue mission there. Though of course that might be impossible. It looks pretty hard.
I think I
shoot at these guys who are trying to sacrifice him. I mean,
you're gonna try to take them out as a group.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll just attack them and hope that Hackfangs comes when they go at me. Yeah, well, I mean, I want to try out this thing. I've found it somewhere and it seems cool. So I don't even know kill. But this whole thing, what they're doing, that seems religion-y to me, right?
I would say, yeah, that seems religion.
Yeah, okay.
You recognise this ritual, and you're pretty sure a blunderbuss disrupts almost every ritual you know.
Great, so I don't even have to kill them. I just have to disrupt the ritual, which is easier, I guess.
Actually, here's a better way of putting it, actually. Are you trying to kill them, or are you trying, like, something like Compel would be also the... Using Compel with the blunderbuss strikes me as completely usable.
I don't have Compel, but yeah, sure, I'll use Compel, neither of which I have, but what the hell? Let me just re-roll these dice. It's a 4 and it's again a 10. Yeah. So, seems like it was pretty successful.
Okay, he hits the floor. They kind of little scarper from the sound of blunderbuss, and you've got time to you drag Vent back. Vent's twitching a bit. His eyes are kind of like glassed over a little, and he's mouthing stuff.
What's he saying?
He is saying, this will be a place of glory. We've seen the glory. The lighthouse Frau is coming. And we've seen her glory prepare her way. We prepare her way. There will be a great light and conflagration, a great light. And immediately he locks eyes with you, Arcos, and speaks to you. I see you, little thing. I see you. You cannot stop me. I am incandescent. And you are nothing. And then he starts calming down and breathing, and you got him in time. You know, he's like, it kind of leeches out. Actually, he's calming down. He might have to do a mend roll and something like that later. But he's a little bit calmer now. What's everyone else up to? Let's say, Casman, you're the one with the moral dilemma, and Arcos correctly analyzes meet and learn from an emissary of the heart.
So okay, wait. So there were two people who were staying behind. Which one? Which one was that?
I'll just say the moth person, Dent, who was a moth trader who was talking to Hagfangs earlier.
Right.
Like, if you were to guess, he's going to try to. He's got some very expensive moths in his place, and he's trying to save them. You know,
Okay.
like that's it's kind of like immediately, you know, incredibly valuable moths.
But
and the other person is like it's just been rescued, which is awesome. And the other thing is, of course, is just your thing, which is would involve going back to your house at the top of the building, or sorry, the top of this village.
Okay, so the person who's just been rescued is the moth guy.
No, sorry. The person who just sorry about this.
Okay, okay, sorry.
To establish the scene, the person who just got rescued, Arco's scared away the cultists and dragged back Devlin, who's the person who hired you, who is the the washed up hound.
Okay.
So he was the person marching with you and sort of like talking about vampire blood.
That's what I thought, but I don't know. I mixed up the names, I think. Okay, cool. I mean, Moth Guy, he's not like currently being attacked by one of these fire people, right?
Not yet. That you can see. It's tricky because like there's a lot of fire now here. That's the weirdest thing. There's no smoke, but the fire kind of goes as high as smoke would. Is that, you know what I mean? As in, it's like there's a lot of verticality.
Okay. So like, I'm gonna go get my contract.
Are you going to tell anyone else? What are you going to say to do it?
I gotta go get something real quick. I'll be there. Like I don't wait for people to reason with me or anything or tell me not to do this. I just I say it and run.
Okay, Casimir is moving. Darren, Trent, you're probably the person who's most noticeable because like Hagfangs is still snapping and snarling at people. And like Casimir's just run off. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Casimir.
Casimir, are you shouting? It's like is it kind of like a what are you doing, Casimir? Or obviously Casimir must have a good reason.
I think at first when Casimir says, I gotta go get something, I'm like, wait, what? Casimir. And then I'll just like fall behind. Casimir, we have to go. Like the whole town is burning. What do you mean you have to get something?
Look, this is important. Hey, I just saw Vent run in to get his moths, so he might need some help getting out.
Yeah, but what about you might need help getting out too? You're gonna run all the way back to our wherever?
That's armor's flameproof.
Is it? This is not regular fire. All right, fine. I'll go
Trust
after.
Me. Vent will need help before I will.
Okay, I'll meet you back at the portal.
You split up. I was about to say, Hagfangs, you're still yapping. Arco's, you're keeping the portal open, but it's kind of stable now. You think you've got the person through, I presume. Okay, the way this is going, you get to one of the moth guys, and the moth guy is his building's on fire now, and he's just trying to get in, and he can't get in. And he sort of turns to you and says, like, I've got 5 vermilion sages in there. Do you know how you need 5 vermilion sages to mate with each other? And if you can't get, you need at least 5 due to multiple things. And then we've got to get them out. I've been trying to collect them for years. You do not understand how important they are.
Look,
he says kind of desperately.
It's on fire.
My life is on fire.
I mean, it can be if you walk into that building, but I don't think you're getting out of there with any moths.
Okay. I was about to say, do you want to try to compel him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some hard love here. I don't have compel. What domain were you saying?
Haven.
Oh, Haven. All right. I don't have anything. I'll just be
one dice.
Resting on my luck.
Okay, for a second, let's do the kind of like what could go wrong here? Well, as in terms to actually stress you out. Obviously, the things that go wrong, he just goes in and gets himself killed. Or what could be wrong would be like much more like you have
Burning
to.
moth, burning moth coming out of the building, something like that.
That makes sense. I was thinking much more something like fortune as well. Like this could just be bad luck, like a bad, or like supplies. You might have to bribe him if you're willing to go that. You know, the idea of like, I'll give you, come on, take this. You can try to rebuild, that kind of thing. So that's the sort of cool. Right, roll it. Roll one masterful dice. Sorry, just one dice.
Oh my god! Finally, it's a 1.
Hooray!
The failure, the critical failure. Double that stress. God.
I can't believe we're cheering. That's the only time a critical failure has ever been cheered for in the entire history of games. Right. But it's not a bad place because it's 1d4 and that goes up to 1d6. I'm going to say you're going to have to bribe him. So take it against supplies. Okay. I mean, that makes sense because it, you know, at least for me, that makes. You can have supplies or luck. Like, you seem to be a kind of like very spiritual dude in that character.
That's, well, let me put it on fortune, actually, because I'm imagining a lot of my supplies are like useless religious trinkets. So maybe I start being like, I have like a moth statue, and probably like me like trying to ply him with these useless things is like what presses the luck, right? Like maybe the building collapses or whatever it is.
That is funny. That's
it
great.
Was
I'd say the one reason you may not want to do that. Oh no, the one reason not to do that is you do have 2 protection on supply.
I know, but I just don't know if it makes sense. Like, what could I give him? You know what I mean? He wants these moths. I guess I could give him money, right?
That's the thing. I was say I was actually just thinking money. As in, take this money.
All right. Yeah.
Let's do that. The image of like you
4, because that's
pick the high. It's like, that is the worst thing that's happened. I'm going to roll to see for stress now and see what happens. Yeah. Right, yes, that is the first successful or first unsuccessful fallout. Right, let's basically good news, clear out your stress. Oh, yeah, good news, clear out your stress.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, there's one roll I shouldn't have rolled.
Right, I basically picked from this is the one part of the system which I find a little bit tricky because you've got to look at a big list of stuff.
Yeah, it's like the hardest thing with resistance, unless you're like real good at it and can just come up with it off the top of your head. I never can.
I'm going to say you are on. Okay. The same situation, you give them a load of money and you've kind of left yourself, you are on half rations in that you've given enough money that you can't afford to buy enough food to carry on eating properly.
It's fine. I'm half dead anyway.
It's fine. And it's, and it's also, maybe it's a spiritual thing for you. It's like kind of, it's almost like a fast.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to skip back to Casmian here. Casman, you get up there and you say there is somebody who is carving with their long knife into the hut and setting it on fire. As in, the building's a bit on fire now already. So how is it? How you want to deal with it? Do you want to try to take out the person? Trying to go in? Got another plan? Because your building is at the highest point. If you imagine like the Looney Tunes like water tower, you kind of live in the Looney Tunes water tower like the animals.
Okay. And I am there at that highest point, and so is the cultist with with the fire blade carving things. Okay. Excellent. Well, I have learned from the best, and I'm going to try to knock him off this high place.
It seems legit. This is fun. Make a cult roll, I guess. Roll your weapon rather than your if you roll stress for it, I'd roll your weapon rather than your d4 because it's kind of like, how to phrase this, it's just much more fun in that kind of like you're doing a fun thing rather than I'm not going to penalize the damage you're rolling because of that, if that makes sense. Okay. Roll kill a cult.
Kill a cult. How many
that'll be 3 dice.
3 dice. Yeah. Awesome.
Actually, it's not 3. It's actually just 1 dice, isn't it?
That's I was Let me look at my stats again here. Do I have anything special that gives me? Oh no, that's consuming resource. Never mind. That's not what I thought it was. Okay.
Cool. What can go,
yeah,
what
there's
can go,
one.
Yeah. What can go wrong here is basically, well, probably he hits you, or like it lashes out at you, and somehow they're probably the main things that go wrong here. So it's probably blood damage.
Yeah.
But I think the fact this person's looking the wrong way does give you a big advantage there, I reckon. So I don't think it's going to be like he's probably going to go off the edge.
Well, no, because I rolled a 1. Roll for your party has finally betrayed us.
So how dare you? Okay, I roll actually 1d4, so I go 6. I'll roll the stress damage. Is that okay? It is 5. Okay, you take 5 blood. It basically you kick it and you're on fire. It's that kind of, it goes off and you're kind of like just splashes onto you in the moment of how to phrase this. Fire for blood might be the moment you sort of realise. It looks at you and kind of like as it's falling backwards, it kind of is mouthing grateful things at you in your worship, and it's hard to tell though because it just the fire keeps on dribbling over their mouth and it falls away. Right, and now I roll to see if you take fallout. No, you're fine. So your armor's you're on 5 blood fallout. Sorry, 5 blood stress, but you're on fire alone up there. Well, at least you're on fire before you run into the burning building.
Yeah, I'm already on fire. What can go wrong? Okay. Actually, that can go very wrong because normally I would find something to smother the fire. I think I'm still gonna look around and like, is there a blanket or just some piece of kit? I don't know what, and try to like smother these flames.
You roll on the floor. The flames are out, and you look up.
Okay.
The house is on fire now, and you think of your Okay, where in the house is your contract?
It's under a floorboard.
Great. I even think maybe with luck the floorboard might be loose.
Yeah, I mean this is where I store my like secret stuff. And really the only thing that I absolutely need and also don't want anybody to find is this contract. So I pry it up and
cool.
Grab it.
Yeah, you run in there. As I said, the building is on fire. So it's going to be like you're choking as you're going in. I would say this is an endure cursed roll. Curse normally means the heart, as in like, but the cursed also means things that is actually physically harmful to be in.
Currently on fire.
That's I think sounds building cursed. On fire counts as cursed to me. So that would be 2 dice.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm just gonna crawl along the floor until I find this floorboard and reroll. Come on. I know it didn't. There we go. 8 and 7. That's much better.
That's much better. That's a success. Great. You crawl in, and you like. If you imagine the movie, we've got the external of the hut for a few extra seconds, and then you come out choking with your contract in hand. You did it. So why on earth did you have to risk your life? You can definitely tick off your did something dangerous thing if you wish.
That was pretty dangerous.
That was. I say, now we'll gather the party back together. You're all around the entry part. Like you're about looking around, the place is on fire. It's all pretty awful place. But as they pass Hagfang's, Vent, who's the person talking about, he's sort of counting his money. He says, "This isn't enough. You know how much those moths are worth." Sort of telling Hagfang this is that
they were like, lean into him, and I say, "They're worth nothing right now, because they flew into the flames as soon as they started. You fool!"
And he looks at us like, "This is awful. What's?" Then it's like literally it hits him really hard, and kind of, despite the fact you're a warping monster, he kind of hugs you for a second.
Whispers in my ear. Yeah.
yeah. Whispers is like, you just need perspective sometimes. And there's no perspective down here. There's just this. Looks back, place is on fire, and heads through the portal.
Not the time to be a philosopher.
Great. I was like, everything's on fire. The place is awful. Like, do you want to? Is there anything anyone else wants to do here? Yeah. The only reason I left that floating around, if you actually wanted to do the claim resource of at least D10 from a dangerous location from Hagfangs, that was explicitly if you wanted to try to rescue the moths yourself. I left that on the table for you.
No.
No.
They're like there is literally a saying about what moths do when they see fire.
Cool.
That we all know. Like the second they saw a flame, they would have just made a beeline right for it. So no, they were gone before he even reached them.
That's great. I would say, if no one's going to do it, we can step into the awful stone rumbling dimension if we wish. Okay, you walk in there. I just say, is it big? So I just want to have the moment of wonder, as in you've just stepped through a stone in a wall, and it's so big, you know. It's like it takes your breath, you know. It's this moment of utter awe, and people are petrified and very quiet because they've seen someone. To be fair, someone's been crushed by a stalactite, so they're very quiet.
I will also, when I go through, whisper, please do not talk very loudly. This is an echoing place, and then you will hear echoing place, echoing place, echoing place. But that went reasonably well.
You like sorry.
Oh, I'm moving very like slowly to keep my armor from creaking or whirring.
Your armor appears to have taken some damage. Should I mend it?
Let's get out of here first.
Yes. I would say, I'd imagine do you have to leave at the same place, by the way, Sabine?
I have no idea.
I'm gonna say no, because if you did, that's not a plan that was gonna work.
Yeah, well, we could wait in here until the fire's burned down. So
well, I mean, couldn't Drent use our time in here to prepare his ritual that will then let us go somewhere else?
Yeah.
I was about to say we can probably montage this quite quickly, because the awful thing is you stick your head out expecting the fire to be drained out, and it hasn't. And then you wait 6 more hours, and it hasn't. And there's a kind of like this fire isn't going out. This fire is now just this fire.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, Drent.
Let's go to purgatory, y'all.
I was about to say, it's not great. Like, imagine, since you were talking to the guard earlier, you're kind of looking at Devlin, who is like the washed-up hound who's in charge, and he's sort of coming to, and he's saying he's sort of like his feelings really itchy. He keeps on scratching his chest.
I will maybe take his hand and say, stop scratching your chest. It's not going to do you any good. And I will also take a look at his chest if these scratches form any pattern or anything.
Oh, they definitely do.
Oh, wow. Okay. Anything I might recognize?
You open up and you see they're carving something on his chest with those knives of them.
Oh, okay. I think, okay, I mean, I offered Casimir to heal him, but I think at this point, I'd rather mend this guy's chest because I don't want this Bernie incandescent nonsense to come here. Because then they might have a fight and that we're in the middle of it. No.
I'm sorry, you start bandaging, and Drent actually is worth looking. Drent,
I'm not starting bandaging. I'm starting to mend him. I have the mark of the Weaver.
I'm so sorry, I did not realize that. Yes.
No.
So, rituals are happening. Drent. A moment there is like, you kind of recognize some of the writing, though, is the weird thing.
Arcos, stop. Let me see this.
Actually, like it's like you of course are like me. You've been studying a lot of things, and you're trying to work out what it is. You know, you've studied a lot of things, and it's like you're trying to actually place it. Do you want to try a discern roll? I reckon.
Sure.
Discern religion.
Oh, I think I have both of those, right? Let's see.
I mean, I have both of those too.
You gonna help me? Maybe we're talking back and forth.
Yeah,
Like, hold on.
I would. Of course, I would help you.
Actually,
Something
Devlin goes.
about this seems so familiar.
Devlin's starting to like. What are you not doing? And I imagine every shh, decoding. If you can help Arcos,
I
like
will help.
that's
I'll
4
hold
dice.
it. 4 dice. Okay,
4
go on.
dice.
You roll, and I'll hold his hands so he can't scratch these things deeper in or off or anything.
It's a 10.
Hey. Immediately it comes back. You sort of realise it is this is a. It sounds so banal. These are directions. This is where they've been coming from. There's some marking, and you can sort of see that it goes down into the heart, but also more importantly, it's going out from here. As in, this is this is some kind of invasion, some kind of spreading fire plague, something like that. But it's coming from deeper. As in, there's something down there sending out waves of fire to consume all. And that sounds pretty awful. Sabine, Arcos probably thinks about the lighthouse Frau that was mentioned.
What was that lighthouse? What?
The lighthouse Frau, as in the German word for woman.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. So, wow. But I still think, would my healing this damage, would that block the connection?
That kind of like yes, I would say you sort of free this person, so it's like this. But you've kind of realised, the sort of insight you've got is, oh no, this is their plan. This is kind of like an ongoing mission, and they're kind of like, you see, they've conquered. Since they've conquered this region, the next region is Derelictus. As in which is a far bigger city above them. There's something awful down there, spewing out waves of fire that is going to sink the whole things beneath it. I'm just wondering, it's like, since we've got 15 minutes left, I'm thinking it might be worth stopping here because it seems like a good place in that kind of like. And if anyone's going to stop them, they have to go down because you're off. So we could stop here and do the unpacking after. We could do like the stars and wishes. Is that okay, or would people like to start a delve if they actually wanted to?
Can I just ask a quick question about is there a way to help our friends get rid of stress?
Yes. Is there?
Yeah, you do like you spend your supplies or something, right? So it's like a supply roll.
Yeah.
Or if you have
yes, basically. So yeah.
You can also roll mend if you have that. The right gear lets you roll mend plus an appropriate domain to clear 1d6, 1d4 stress. That's the equipment thing.
Yeah, it's like if you have better equipment, you can roll more stress. So in other words, you would do like if someone had and of course, if you rolled badly on that, you would actually suffer damage to your supplies. So in other words,
Yeah,
if anyone,
I have actually.
Yeah, and if anybody wanted to help,
supplies, so.
Cool. I was going to say, if anyone actually wanted to help Drent having their supply problem, you could actually do some stuff there as well. In terms of you could try to remove that thing by rolling against your resources to give Drent some resources, that kind of things. But there's also like other stuff. I think Jim, when you leveled up, you should have actually cleared. Since you're an adventurer, you should have cleared D6 stress. I think because it was a minor advance. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't take any stress.
Oh right, you didn't, did you? Oh yeah.
No. I was wondering if there was a way to help Kazmaier with his 5 blood stress that he took.
Yeah, I was about to say, if anyone wants to roll amends, that's certainly a way to do it.
So, I've got, for one of my abilities, I've got Witch Spit.
Oh, cool. Tell me.
They say that the spittle of witches can cure minor ailments, repair broken trinkets, and soothe an aching heart. Yours closes up exit wounds. Gain the mend skill. When you want it to be, your spit becomes adhesive and can harden into a tarry, sticky substance.
Wow.
And so I'm going to just go up to Kazmaier and offer to literally lick his wounds for him.
Sure. Yeah, you might. You're not gonna make it worse.
Casmin, have you ever had your wound spat in before by a witch?
No, but I think I've probably seen this before.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
and this is
Someone
not
else.
just spit in. This is like I have to like slather all over it.
And you're a hyena person, so you're like,
Oh yeah,
you're like
yeah.
drooling this stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's great.
Perfect.
This sounds fantastic. Sorry, is there anything else in that? Is it just what's the actual bonus of the spit thing apart from?
I mean, it says my spit closes up wounds. It gives me the men skill, and
Right.
I can use it to close wounds or like act as an adhesive.
Cool. In which case, that is just the men skill then.
Yeah.
Basically roll mend haven. It would be so 2 dice.
Okay, I don't have Haven, so I'll just be rolling 2 here. 2d10. There's a 10 on one of them.
Okay, you heal d6. If you roll d6, Casmine can heal that much blood stress.
Excellent. Let me roll that. See what we get. There's a 3.
Beautiful. It's like there's something incredibly calming about being licked by a gnoll. It's like, has Casmine ever owned a dog? Is it like how does a gnoll's tongue
I mean,
compare to a
probably
dog's
some
tongue?
weird Vermisian monster dog. Transdimensional dog. Yeah. So I think, like, honestly, that is probably the least creepy thing that I've seen Hagfangs do today.
That is very soothing.
One question: that guy that had the wounds in his chest, can I plug them? I have this Mark of the Weaver where I can repair somebody once per session, and I would like to use it on that, so we wouldn't have to worry about him firing out at us.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, well, then I will do that and keep my stress for myself. That's fine.
That's great. I was going to say, could you tell me how the Weaver, like, give me an image of, like, this is
Sure.
a wonderful little refugee sort of camp situation here. We've got all these people sitting around in this very quiet place, and you're kind of caring for each other. So it's actually a really quite pretty moment in this stillness. Tell me how the Weaver works.
The Mark of the Weaver is your hands are covered in spiderweb ink. You have the capacity to stitch and bind with a thought. Gain the mend skill. Once per session, you can fix someone or something in a matter of seconds, even if it would usually take hours of careful work.
That's fantastic.
I will do that. Yes. That's just, it looks like I put my hands on his chest, and then the these spider silk tattoos come out and gather into his skin and just try to stitch up whatever they did to him and whatever he's doing to himself.
That's beautiful. I was about to say, that's really, again, just something really quite tender, and he looks up to you and he's incredibly grateful. And this kind of like, you did better than genuinely, you did better than anyone is. We are literally this far beneath the earth, and you did everything. It's like there could have been 100 vampires out there, and you would have dealt with them. But he laughs. No, we would have never have dealt with that number of vampires. No one could deal with that number of vampires. He sighs. The question is, what now? I guess.
That's a perfect ending. What now? I guess.
Yeah, and there's a kind of, I imagine everyone might look at their fate, because there might be an implication of whatever is there. I was about to say, Darren, Drent also established find a helpful text, by the way.
Oh, I did. Oh, yeah, the body, the scar.
Yes.
Ooh, I'll take it.
Excellent. I was about to say, and that's it. I'm going to stop recording now, and then we'll do, if you want to do stars and wishes.
Oh, maybe just real quick before we stop the recording, just so that people watching know what's going on. What happens when we hit one of those beats?
What happens when those beats is, this is one of the great, actually, let's do this bit on camera, actually.
Yeah.
When you hit this beat, you'll, at the start of the session, or rather at the end of the session, as in now, you choose 2 new beats. And the beats are basically how the advancements work. There's some easy to achieve beats, or minor beats that give you minor abilities, and harder ones which are like, give you the major abilities. So your character advancement basically works by you asking, this is what I want to happen in the plot. And then it's up to the GM and the player to sort of conspire to make those things happen. So it's very much like a very proactive but regimented way to give a character arc. And each of these players have a different character background. Like Jim's character Hagfangs is an adventurer, so theirs is about glory. whilst Sabine's character, Arco's, is a heart song. They're somebody who have been compelled by these dreams of the heart, and they're calling out to them. And so their adventures of their story paths will be very different based upon that being built in. So in other words, when they happen, people advance. But also, at the end of every session, people can choose 2 new ones on the list. And then, well, actually, you can either replace the ones you've got, change them entirely, or like just add new ones, etc. So, and of course, you doing that now gives me kind of a chance to do some prep to make it work more smoothly into next episode. Instead of, for example, putting a moth salesman in who is very desperate to protect his staff. Cool. Feel free to say aloud what you're picking, actually, because I think that's an interesting thing to hear.
So having succeeded in doing a minor milestone, or sorry, hitting a minor beat, we then get a minor ability.
Yes.
Got it.
I'm going to keep my other beat, establish a connection on a delve, and then the new beat I'm going to take is allude to events that led me to seek forbidden knowledge to achieve an impossible task. Me gesturing at death a lot next.
I've got the image of like literally just the first scene going, well.
Yeah, right.
Cool. Bethany, could you tell us about Casmines?
Yeah. I'm gonna keep the first one, the performer seemingly
rescue
unconnected.
an NPC from trouble you have caused.
Yeah, that's the one I replaced.
Sorry, you're mute. Cool. Sabine, what is your beat you picked?
I have picked two new beats because I've hit the one that I met and
sorry, I pulled out my own headphones.
What?
Sorry, I thought everyone else had muted themselves and I couldn't hear anyone. I just pulled my headphones out. I'm a professional. Sorry, thank you, Sabine. And finally, Jim.
All right, so I successfully kicked someone off of a high structure. In parentheses, they really deserved it. So having done that, I think for next time, I am going to take. There is one here that is. I think have a cocktail fighting move or legendary beast named after you. And the other one is take major fortune fallout.
Ooh. That's good. Excellent. And that's what we'll have to look forward to next time, hopefully. Anyway, thanks everyone listening. And we're going to end the broadcast now. Unless anything else?
I would like to ask the question because I have hit my major beat. That means I get another major ability, right?
Yes.
Also, I've replaced my both of my beats now. So
that's great. That's perfectly allowed. Especially since we're only playing 3 sessions. They're kind of like, it's very much like it's self-editing in terms of like, you can always pick the biggest one if you like, but it's like, it does mean that it's going to be compressed. These characters tend to burn out quite quickly. I mean, the game suggests like 8 sessions, I think it is. So it's that kind of length. So we're playing compressed, but we're still like not uncompressed, I guess. Anyway, that was delightful. And now I will end broadcast.